If you're someone who's ambitious and you want to achieve something great in your life, but sometimes you feel unmotivated or you don't have the energy to actually do the work that you know you're excited for, watch this video because I'm going to share the one unlock that actually made it possible for me to achieve pretty much anything I set out, and it's actually much simpler than you think. So if we think about society today, we actually live in the easiest time in the world, and you'd think that that would make everybody happy. You know, we're not worried about food, we're not worried about shelter, we're not worried about protecting our family. We are just straight up on our phones. We got DoorDash, we have amazing cost of living, like everything is provided for us. There's grocery stores, it's insane. But the trick here is that that's actually a catch-22, because now that we have everything possible, our bodies were not used to having all of this fast food in front of us, infinite calories, infinite entertainment, infinite leisure time, which just A, causes a lack of meaning to a lot of people, and B, because of that, they fill it with more dopamine. What is actually going to happen when you have unlimited food is it's going to be very hard for you to not overeat, because if you overeat, you're going to have less energy. And so first and foremost, you need to understand that when you eat food, when you digest food, like your body's actively digesting food, that is actually using energy. So you have to use a little bit of energy to store energy. So if you ever feel tired all the time, really be mindful of the fact that every time you eat, you're signing up for like about an hour to 2 hours of using energy, which will make you feel tired and you'll have brain fog. But next, what you really need to understand is you need to really regulate your dopamine expenditure and intake. So if you guys aren't familiar with dopamine is basically the chemical in your brain that makes it feel good to look forward to something. So if you've ever looked forward to the end of school so you could play Counter-Strike, you look forward to a sleepover with your friends and you're really excited, that active feeling of looking forward to something and having energy and feeling excited is dopamine. It's what is the reward mechanism in your brain. Now, what the problem that has happened in this day and age with cell phones and other technology is that it's really easy to now use dopamine and hack your brain's dopamine system, and that's literally what social media is designed to do. It's what video games are designed to do. It's what phones are designed to do. And so if you don't control how much dopamine you use, it's going to be very, very hard for you to feel excited or to enjoy other work on your goals. So what you really need to understand is that, think about it this way. You basically have 100, when you wake up in the morning, as you sleep, your dopamine resets. And every single day when it resets, you wake up with 100 dopamine points available in your brain. And so there's two ways this can work. A, you can sit there, go to your computer, and start working, and you will use dopamine slowly but surely, about 1 dopamine point every 15 minutes. And you'll be using it on your work because your work is exciting and you have goals. Or what you could do is wake up, check your Instagram, and scroll on Reels for 15 minutes. Well, Instagram is using 15 dopamine points per 15 minutes, so 1 per minute. And so you can either use it steadily on your work that finds meaningful and purposeful, or you can extract it by checking Instagram, by watching porn, by playing video games, whatever it may be. And so you have to really be understanding that if you choose to use all of your dopamine by looking at your phone, eating fast food or whatever it is, you're going to have no dopamine left to do work. And that's going to be that sluggish, non-motivated, I'll do it tomorrow, no energy feeling that you get. If you ever really try to pay attention to how you feel after you've eaten fast food, after you've played 3 games of Counter-Strike, after you've looked at Instagram on your phone, you'll feel really empty inside. Oh my God, I just died. You'll feel really empty inside, and you'll feel like you just cannot get yourself to actually do work. And it's because you're just spending all of your dopamine on these things that take no effort on your end and are really unfulfilling. And so basically what I want you to understand is, this is what I've learned through my years of entrepreneurship. Oh, we're going crazy here. Through my years of entrepreneurship is that when you wake up, it's extremely important to not look at your phone, to not eat any food for the first 3 hours, to not play any video games, and to just sit there and be bored. Because if you sit there for the first hour of your day and you're bored, you will actually have ideas come to you that start to feel fun. And these ideas are actually productive in building your business. So my morning routine is literally wake up, don't do anything, go get a cup of coffee, go get sunlight in my eyes, and then maybe I'll go shower. And then while I'm in the shower, I sit there quietly for about 15 minutes and I just wait for an idea to come. So I'm not allowing myself to fill this boredom with a phone. I'm not allowing myself to fill this boredom with a video game or with fast food or anything that is now cheap entertainment. I will not allow myself to do. And that's because I know that if I wait long enough, my dopamine, my natural dopamine, will kick in, and I'll start getting really excited about writing a video script. I'll start getting really excited about a new marketing idea I have. I'll start getting really excited about a new business idea I have. And what work that would usually feel boring, all of a sudden feels very fun and very exciting. And so that is such a big deal to understand, because if you don't do that and you're just using your dopamine, you're going to be in a permanent state of low energy. You're going to be in a permanent state of no ambition, no positive ideas, because you're, instead of actually sitting there and waiting for inspiration to strike and feeling excited about the work, you're just putting in all of this nonsense into your consciousness. And this consciousness, this nonsense that you're putting into your consciousness, is sucking your energy dry. It is not your problem to hear about the kids in Gaza. Global warming is not your problem. These are not problems in your life, in your area, that will ever affect you. Yet most people are constantly falling for these pendulums who want to take your energy and make their problem your problem so you can help them. The only thing that you are responsible for in your life is your success, and you do not have the right to be judged by anybody in the world. Nobody in the world has the right to judge you. And so if you continuously use social media and you pay attention to the mainstream media, they're going to constantly be telling you all these horrible things that happen, to hack your brain, to make you care about their problems, and to take your energy and use it for their own means, okay? So you have to understand, you can not be putting all of this stuff into your consciousness and expect to get positive results when you're literally giving your energy to other people. That is why the biggest corporations in the world make all the money. They have made their problems everybody else's problems, and people fall for it and put their energy in trying to solve the problem for the corporation instead of for their own good. And so you have to really understand that. If you give your energy to your family member who's trying to guilt you to go to a dinner party, if you give your energy to a social media company trying to tell you there's a war you have to care about, or the economy is bad, or the government is corrupt, if you put any time into that, you're going to start thinking about it. And then in the shower, you're going to start arguing to yourself about what an idiot Trump is, or what an idiot this government leader is. And when you argue to yourself, that is time being spent not thinking about your goals, not thinking about making progress on your work, but instead making up fake arguments in your mind. And it's really just a waste of time. You are putting your thought energy into something that does not benefit you, and it's not even in your area. And so your phone, your computer, these things are amazing tools, but they're also the biggest distractions that are going to hold you back in life. So the number one thing you have to understand is your dopamine intake. If you are looking at your phone and you're eating fast food, you're going to use all of your dopamine points to the point where work won't feel enjoyable, and so you won't even do it, and you'll just go on and passively watch your life go by. Next, if you actually sit there and you intake like actual content about the news or anything that's going to extract you and distract you about trying to make other people's problems your problems, you're, again, not going to be able to get any positive work done because you're just thinking all day about these things that you took in. I challenge you, if you do this in the morning, I want you to wake up, in the first 10 minutes, mindlessly scroll on Instagram or TikTok, okay? Just 5 or 10 minutes, just scroll, scroll, scroll. Then go in the shower, turn all the lights off, and sit there for 10 minutes. No music, no screens, nothing. Just quiet in the shower. I want you to pay attention to what thoughts you're having. As you sit there, how is your consciousness choosing to entertain itself? What are you going to be thinking about? Are you arguing with yourself? And what you'll find out is that you're going to argue with yourself about something that you saw. You're going to worry about if there's another pandemic. You're going to think about a joke. Maybe you're going to daydream about a girl. You're going to realize that the stuff that you put into your mind in the first 10 minutes of your day from Instagram, your subconscious has to sort through it all. It doesn't just go away. Your subconscious indexes that, and it needs to sort through it, because if there's a war next door to you, that's a problem. But if it's a war in Gaza, that doesn't affect you at all. Your subconscious has to actually work through that to make sure that it can protect you. But once it realizes it has nothing to do with you, it will remove it from its brain. But you have to process it. And so when you're sitting there for 5 or 10 minutes of scrolling, you are inputting so much into your brain to process that it's filling it up with a lot of noise. And that noise is blocking you from coming up with ideas that will actually impact your business, get you excited to do work, or help you take steps to achieve your goal. And so I really just want you guys to try that experiment. Do it for 5 to 10 minutes and then see how crazy it is where your thoughts, your energy are all being put into this random stuff that you just saw on Instagram. It doesn't matter at all. It's all unimportant shit. But at the end of the day, your body has to process it to protect you. Because if it was relevant to you, it would be important for you to make decisions to actually get away from the situation. But Instagram, TikTok, all of these social media accounts are all trying to get you to think about their problems, to put your energy into their actual benefits. And that is a problem that you have to be aware of. So A, when you wake up, do not look at your phone. Do not input any information into your consciousness. And B, just sit there for an hour, hour and a half. Go outside. Go on a walk. Go into the shower. Whatever you want to do. Just do not look at screens. Do not look at anything that could put ideas into your head. And then wait to see what ideas come out, because that is how your dopamine will actually be used properly to achieve your goals. And then simultaneously, never fall for any sort of online propaganda or media that's trying to tell you that you should care about something. Okay, your life is in your hands and you need to prioritize yourself, and that's not selfish, because if you master yourself, you can help way more people. Okay, so this is something I really want you guys to understand. And last but not least, I'm a Counter-Strike lover. I'm not saying you can't do any of this stuff. I made $1 million, my first $1 million, playing Counter-Strike 1 to 2 times per night. I would play 1 to 2 games of Counter-Strike every night, and I still made $1 million. But I was extremely specific with what I was putting into my brain in the morning. I would never play Counter-Strike in the morning. I would never look at my phone in the morning. I would never intake information in the morning. The first 2 hours were the most important because my energy was fresh, my dopamine was reset, and to sit there with my eyes closed and just wait for inspiration to strike on something that actually moved me towards my goals. And then once I did one clear action towards my goals, I then let myself play Counter-Strike at night. So don't listen to anyone who says you can't play video games and be successful, but you just have to be very, very mindful that your best hours in the morning should be used for productive reasons, and you need to make sure you're using that energy on stuff that's actually going to move you forward in life. So A, be extremely mindful of your dopamine, and B, never fall for anything that anyone tells you that their problems should be your problems, okay? Let it pass you by, don't get emotionally involved, and you will be successful. All right, guys, thank you for listening. Hope this was helpful. Free yourself.